It's absolutely the very beginning of providing monetization opportunities to the Viners who have done such great work at building this unique community of content creators and connecting them to brands. We think is just going to be awesome for the brands who want to leverage the great work these Viners do to create stories, and for the Viners who are able to then build a career off all the fun things they're able to do with the platform.
Do you find yourself competing with Snapchat for this new generation of video creators?
I think about it more as this unique platform we've developed in Vine, and this awesome, there are these stop motion animation experts, there are these comedians, there are these sort of Vine magicians through some of the frame by frame animation work they do. And being able to leverage their talents to help brands and companies tell their stories across the Twitter ecosystem, we think is really cool. And by bringing Niche on board, we think we're going to be able to do that not just on Vine, but across the broader Twitter ecosystem, meaning within Twitter itself as well.
There is so much energy right now around the Vine ecosystem and Snapchat as well. It makes me wonder whether YouTube has squandered some of the opportunity around mobile video. Do you see them in the mobile video space?
I think there are going to be lots of players in this native mobile video space. And again, by native mobile, I say that a lot. And what I mean when I say that is video primarily produced for consumption on mobile. We led the way there with Vine. We just think there's an enormous amount of opportunity there, and buying Niche was part of realizing that opportunity. We're going to do a lot more there as well.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, my Android Twitter app updated itself to allow for native video, mobile video.
Right.
So, as those tools have rolled out to users, what kind of usage have you seen? What kind of consumption?
We've seen great usage of them. I think one of the things we've been fascinated about in just the first couple of weeks is how much people are using native mobile video to reply to tweets. So someone will write a text tweet and mention another user on Twitter, and that user will reply with a short video. We've seen that from individual users, like Gary Vaynerchuk's been doing that a lot. We've seen it from companies. Medium has been doing a sort of a Q&A using native mobile video in their responses. We just did a Q&A today with Amy Schumer, the comedian Amy Schumer, who's written and starring in this movie that's coming out this summer, Trainwreck. She did all her responses via video. So I think that's really cool, and wouldn't have been the first use case we anticipated, but it's neat to see that kind of blowing up.
So let me ask you about user growth. Recently in your quarterly earnings report, user growth was a little bit down, but you expressed a confidence that it would come back up to the level seen in previous quarters. Yeah. Why are you so sure?
Well, we did that in the very first week of February, and so we had the benefit of having seen what was happening in January. And as we mentioned, that outlook was based on seeing a return to organic growth. Growth initiatives that we've had inside the company that are delivering results, and then some seasonality where Q1 is just seasonally higher than Q4 traditionally.
You've increased the cadence of product launches recently. A big one is Instant Timeline. Talk a little bit about that and why it's important.
Sure. I mean, one of the things that I've been talking about since we were on the IPO roadshow is bridging that gap between awareness of Twitter and really engaged on Twitter. And part of that gap is new users who come to the platform. They just saw it on TV. They just saw this thing is happening. It's all on Twitter right now. Head over there. They sign up for the platform, and then they can't find the right accounts to follow. They don't understand how to use it, et cetera. Instant Timeline is about delivering immediate value to these users the moment they sign up, removing the follow friction from the way they get value out of the platform right away, and getting them a great timeline of 20, 40, 90 accounts to look at immediately and show them how to use the platform, not try to teach them how to use the platform.
Another area of focus is messaging. I'm still terrified to send a message on Twitter. I feel like I'm going to blast it to my whole network. What's the ultimate vision for messaging on Twitter?
It's being able to take a public conversation private because we believe that when you see these public conversations and you participate in them, there's a tremendous use case for taking that conversation to a private channel, whether it's between you and a company. How many times do you see people talk about, hey, I'm late for I missed my flight at Delta, at Virgin America, at United. Please help me. They respond with, hey, follow us and we'll DM you. and being able to take all that context of any public conversation between two accounts to a private channel between one or more of those accounts, we think is just a huge opportunity, both for businesses and users on Twitter. And then also, look, there are just times when you see a public conversation on Twitter and you want to have a sidebar conversation with you and your friends about this thing that's happening publicly that's fun. So this is about enabling that and enhancing it to make Twitter increasingly a daily use case for people.
Now, the product team behind some of these new features, you've had some instability on the team, some managers coming and going. Has that situation stabilized?
So the short answer is yes. I love the team that we have in place. I've also been particularly enthused by the way my direct reports are building out their bench and strengthening their bench and bringing other leaders into the company. We've just had a couple more additions to our engineering leadership just in the last week. So that's something I'm enthusiastic about and excited about. Look, the organizations are always going to evolve and change over time, but I really like the team we have in place now.
Do you feel like you made mistakes in previous incarnations of the team?
I think I always tell my leaders inside the company, it's your job to always be improving your team. And there are all sorts of things you can do to improve your team. Your job is not to defend your team. Your job is to improve your team. And so that's something I focused on and paid careful attention to, and I love the way the team is set up now.
I was struck by the internal statement that you made about trolling on Twitter recently. You said that the whole world knows that this bullying behavior happens on the network. We haven't done enough to stop it. What do you want to see the organization do?
Yeah. Let me just start off by saying that was, I think, the first time I used the word "we suck at this" and used crass language like that in a company-wide email. And of course, that's the one that gets leaked, not one of my more sophisticated writing memos. Look, the point of writing that note to the company was to let them know I take responsibility for that. We're not just going to go ahead with the status quo anymore. We're going to get a lot more aggressive. It's on me to make sure we do that, and we're going to be aggressive and fast about making changes. So that was about me putting the sort of weight on my shoulders, if you will, and letting the rest of the company know we're going to get more aggressive here and quickly.
Okay. E-commerce on Twitter. I feel like Amazon has been trying to sell me the same portable USB charger since he introduced the feature on the network. What's the ultimate vision and how big can it be?
We're still experimenting there. I've said a number of times that I think the opportunity for Twitter is to really be the place for in-the-moment commerce, now commerce. In the context of seeing some public conversation, oh yeah, I want that, and I get it now. As distinct from other kinds of commerce that are just, here's a catalog of stuff. So we have a number of experiments we're running there. We're learning a ton from running those experiments. We don't have anything new to announce. I think you'll continue to see us explore with different kinds of what does now commerce really mean in the coming months, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, a long-term question. Facebook, of course, has 1.2 billion users, a $200 billion market cap. Is your vision for Twitter still on the, is it on the same par? Is it Facebook scale?
I think our vision for Twitter is to have the largest possible audience, the largest daily audience in the world. We believe that Twitter is of value and can be of value to every connected person on the planet, and that's the strategy we're delivering against. We think that total audience strategy is comprised of strengthening the core of logged-in users, but also organizing content experiences for that more than 500 million users a month who come to Twitter and don't log in, and syndicating those content experiences across the entirety of the web and mobile landscape.
Okay, Dick, maybe to wrap up on a light note, we're here at a financial conference. Your CFO, Anthony Noto, perhaps some good-natured ribbing. His Twitter account got hacked recently. What's going on? Does he need a tutorial and two-factor authentication?
Anthony received a particularly compelling offer from a Nigerian prince.
Those are hard to resist.
I'll just leave it at that.